Good day, good people. It's me, TechP, and this is an episode of TechP What's the What's. I am currently here in the drive-thru at the Chick-fil-A, and I'm just trying to get my wife a salad for lunch. I'm taking her a salad for lunch. She's working today. And I want to take that to her because I told her I was going to do that. And then I'm usually leaving the gym around this time, but I'm actually headed to the gym after that. This morning the cars were supposed to be washed, and the detailer I dropped my wife off at work so her car could get washed as well because it was filthy. But then he had a malfunction. Yes. He had a malfunction. Had to reschedule for next week. Thank you. And then it was like at this funny time where I wouldn't be able to get a workout in and be able to give my wife lunch there at the same time. And so I went and got some gas, and I ran into an amazing man named James Piper. And he made a comment about my car, and he asked me the name of the color, and we started talking, and we stood at the gas pump and talked for like 30 minutes. And he gave me the name of his book. I'm gonna order his book. I'm gonna share that with you guys. He's going to be joining our podcast. James Piper, his book is a book defending any questions that anyone may have from my interpretation of what he said. These were not his words, but I'm going to get the book. It was a short read based off of scripture defending the Bible. And he talked about there being another guy who wrote a book first that was saying all these reasons why the scriptures were not true. And so what he was led to do was write a book opposing that based off of the scriptures. Because that guy who wrote the first book about the scriptures not being true, he said, I wish someone would debate me on this based off of the scriptures. And so this is what his book is. James Piper. I was blown away. I was blown away, man. I was like, wow. And so we had a conversation there for 30 minutes. I shared with him some stuff about integration. I shared with him the vision that we have to be able to bring rich, deep resources. And I'm going to read the book, but resources available to our community. In addition to that, this book is something that he wrote, and we have a team at Our Diverse Perspectives that can build a whole strategy around creating a sales goal and going out and helping him drive this message, because a part of his purpose and his mission, he shared with me, was that he had an unfortunate situation to where he was very wealthy. He said he had Ferraris and motorcycles and all these different things, and then he lost it all. And in losing it all, he still owes about $8 million. And he's working now every day to try to pay back, and he intends to pay back that $8 million. And so I really feel like he has a product and a story that the team at Our Diverse Perspectives can put our heads around and work with James to be able to go out and maximize his gifts, because I saw so many in that conversation, to be able to add value to humanity. His purpose is his profit. Really the way I look at it. And when I saw him and what he spoke about, it was full of purpose. And that's the reason why that other business didn't work, is because it wasn't his purpose. The experience is what was the value for him. And so now that's where the power is, in telling that story and aligning that with whatever his desire is. And his desire is, he just told you in the book, he wanted to defend what the word says. And if that is what I heard correctly at the gas station, I am in, brother. Count me in. TechP is in. I mean, grateful. I mean, I told him, I said, there was a time when I was reaching out to everybody who was on social media that had a large platform, and I was asking them, telling them, hey, I got this thing to help people. I got this desire to help people. You saying you want to help people. You saying this, that, and the other. Nobody was responding. And so I went and I prayed about it. And what God told me was he was going to send the people. When he sent the people, I would see them. And James Piper, I see him clearly.
Meet Darius. As a student organizer at his local college, Darius yearns to find things in the community to share with his friends and classmates that align with social equity, warding off spaces and places that do not align with him and his peers' interests.
Okay, and we're back. I just was able to drop off my wife's salad and see her smiling face, which always makes me feel better. And so I feel good about that. And so now I am going to drive around the corner and go to the gym, finally, because I haven't been able to get good workouts in this week. This week has been very, 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 I spent some time as Jeff McKinney this week, and spent quite a bit of time as Jeff McKinney. And it's getting, it's not bad to be Jeff McKinney. Don't get me wrong, Jeff McKinney is highly favored and blessed and all of those good things. But he's not TechP. When I get to be TechP, who I am right now, I ain't worried about, I ain't concerned, I ain't having to deal with nothing. But, I got some clarity as I got through the week. And so, long story short, some of you guys may have heard that I had this legal situation going on with Dell Technologies. We don't have to get into the particulars of it. We're going to do that in time. And it's an amazing story of what happens in the dark, the silence of it all, and now having been pushed to the point where I tried to take care of this in a way that didn't require me to speak too much about it as TechP. I just created the art, but now my art takes on more of a recital or an exhibition phase now, because essentially what I'm being told is, despite the claims that I have that are in place, I hate when it does this. Despite the claims that I have in place, hopefully this audio is working, the arbitrator will not hear my case after 3 years of waiting to be heard. And you have to imagine that, hearing something like that, and already suffering from the triggers of PTSD from systems that don't don't do what they say that they're gonna do. It even may push me to, a heavier place. But because I've been doing the work to ask Jeff McKinney to kind of understand and learn to cope in a better way, I think I shared with you guys on another episode that I had recently been in intensive outpatient therapy to kind of learn more about dealing with this. It pushed me to the point where I have no choice but to, as TechP, go out and create with what I have, because if you're telling me that it's not going to be heard now, my attorneys have some perspective on this as well. It wouldn't be in my best interest to share much on that. But what that means is, given that it's taken me 3 years to get here, I've been highly impacted, and I'm in a position now to where I got to go out and do what Jeff McKinney does, and that is to go sell. And so we're going to sell it all. We're going to sell it all, and we're going to be able to, as the team at Our Diverse Perspectives, we're going to be able to look back and say, what we do for ourselves and humanity is a demonstration of what our capabilities are. And so if you're looking for a strategic team that has the ability to imagine all different types of solutions, then we would love to talk to you. And so we're identifying some specific areas, primarily focused on fractional CTO type services, fractional CFO type services, and so on. And we're building a package around that so that the Diverse Perspectives membership plan of Ontegration has some very specific benefits that are focused at what would make an aspiring entrepreneur more successful. What would make a small business owner more profitable? What would make a career-oriented, focused, high achiever more efficient, more effective, more valuable? And placing those services as benefits of the Diverse Perspectives membership level. I think it's entrepreneur and business owner membership level of Ontegration. And so we already have the upcoming events. And so the events will be a testimonial and a demonstration of that service. We are building pipeline with our business partner, Cherie Dolan and Clara, who is sponsoring the event. We've already got one opportunity in the pipeline as a result of it, before the event even launches. And we're talking about relevant content that I believe piques the interest of many. We're talking about the responsible use of AI in K through 12 healthcare and logistics. And quite frankly, this is the cheat code to be able to join a community that's going to bring these types of conversations and resources and environments into play, both physically and virtually, allowing for you to be able to choose whether or not to connect into it or not. And so, if you believe that you are the sum total of who you surround yourself with, then the doors of Ontegration are open. And so that's what has put me in a position. It's put me in a position to have to go out and be able to settle in as TechP and do and manifest the things that have never been seen before, because that's what I've been called to do. Now, don't for any minute believe that I believe that someone is going to be able to harm me and not be held accountable for it. And so this story has power to be able to drive awareness and a light of humanity towards humanity, to employees, to everyone who cares and is going to start caring, that this is what happens inside of the systems, and these are the resources that we put in place to make sure that Rebuttal Human Relations is there to benefit the employee, to make sure they don't have to go through what Jeff McKinney went through, and also offer services to enterprises to ensure that their HR practitioners do not fail the way that the Dell HR practitioners and business leaders failed. And that you as a CEO, you don't end up appearing the way Michael Dell does right now. And this is just the position that I have to be in, and to be able to go out and sell to provide for my family. And oh, how grateful I am to have escaped to a place and to evolved into TechP, to be able to have envisioned and given away to thrive, even when those that harm hide in silence and pretend as though they did nothing. And so I think what I'm gonna do is, for this particular story, because I don't want this to take over the brand of what we're building, I'm gonna have an exclusive community inside of Ontegration, in a space inside of Ontegration, in that when you join that space, then you get to be a part of this part of the story. And it's not about slinging mud. This is about making sure that the solution to this issue is one that is fine-tuned, and one that addresses this in a way that doesn't reek of Jeff's trauma. It actually blossoms and blooms in healing. And so we've had some announcements soon to make about, we found the president of Rebuttal Human Relations, who's going to be responsible for driving these solutions. And I'm really excited about it, because at the end of the day, my friend Cal Scantlin said it. He told me one day, he said, "Jeff, you ain't never been nothing but a winner." And so, in this particular case, we got to put a little asterisk, because Jeff had to become TechP in order to go win. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a win. So, I'm pulling into this gym. It's time to go get it in. I'm TechP, Jeff McKinney, and this has been an episode of TechP What's the What. Peace.